What's happening, you guys? It's Rafael at Top Shot Collectibles, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the best strategy to buying or trading Pokemon cards. I decided to make this video because there is a lot of new people that have come to the hobby ever since TCG Pocket came out and Surging Sparks, Twilight Masquerade. And I keep hearing people talk about, I just started collecting with Surging Sparks, or I just started collecting with Prismatic Evolutions. There's a lot of new faces in the hobby. And so I realized maybe a lot of these people don't really know what it entails and the best way to approach the hobby when it comes to collecting. And I'm gonna split it into 4 different areas, right? And it's gonna go from 4 all the way to 1. 1 being the best strategy that I've actually used in the past when it comes to trading or buying singles, and how to take the best advantage of your funds when it comes to the hobby and collecting. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, at number 4, we have trading or buying at your local card shops or trade shows, Collecticon, Card Party, and all those big shows that people attend to. You pay to get in and all that. Now, those are fun. They're very fun to attend. You meet a lot of people. There's pros and cons to that. That's at my number 4 for a reason. So the pros of doing that, going to your, a big show like that, or your local card shop, depending on the size, is that they usually have large quantities, right? At the big card shows, you have a lot of tables and a lot of vendors, hundreds of vendors with thousands of cards available. Odds are that the cards you're looking for, you will find them there. That is one of the biggest pros to doing that. The con is that local card shops and vendors at shows will only pay anywhere between 70, 75, maybe 80%, sometimes 90 if your card is a sought after card, like the Umbreon from Evolving Skies, for example. They will pay really top dollar for that because they know that that card will continue to move up and they can sell it for profit and they can move it fast. But when it comes to your normal singles, in the $100 or below ballpark IRs, SIRs that are not too expensive, you're probably going to get 75% market. Trading, if you try to get money for it, they'll give you even worse of a trade for it. And that is usually the norm when it comes to LGSs, any LGSs, or card shows, vendors. So that is the reason why I put that at number 4. Now, like I said, it is fun to attend. It's a lot of fun. You can still find deals at these places, but they're very far in between. You're basically just paying for the experience and the community and networking. At number 3, and this strategy works for the people that don't have the time, right? Obviously, going to a card show, going to a local LGS requires you to get somewhere and go somewhere. So what you have to do is go online and you have access to a massive amount of cards that you can buy. But one of the biggest cons of doing this, and a lot of people that have been around for a while can agree, is that you can't see the card. You don't get to see the card. Odds are, if you're buying from TCG Player, you're not seeing the card. Very few posts on TCG Player has pictures. You could potentially see it if you're buying on eBay or Mercari. They will have pictures up, but the pictures don't make the card justice. And a lot of people, I don't want to say that a lot of people do this, but there may be a photo of a card that looks really good, but then you get something else, right? The same card, but it's damaged and you didn't see that, or you missed it from the photos. This type of thing happens all the time. It has happened to me when I'm ordering a mint condition card and I get something that is banged up and damaged and scratched up, and now you have to go back and talk to the seller and try to get some credits for it or refund it and return. It can be a pain if you really get unlucky with buying online. It is a viable option, like I said, for people that don't have the time to move around and go places because you work a full-time job and you just want to still do the hobby and collect and don't have the time. Buying online, just make sure that you vet the seller and it's 100% 5-star reviews. So, as a vetted seller, you vet it with reviews, and that you're getting a good quality photos of the item. You can always request for more, and hopefully you're able to get what you actually paid for. At number 2, and in my opinion is one of the best strategies, that's why it's at my number 2, and that is attending trade nights. Trade nights are usually hosted by your local LGS, local card shops. They usually have trade nights where essentially collectors, just like you, will show up on a night, and you bring your binder, they'll bring theirs, and you just essentially trade away. Because they are collectors and they're not in it to make money, right, to resell or whatnot, you will be able to find people that are willing to trade 1 for 1. If the value of the market is the same, or maybe just a couple dollars off, you'll be able to trade 1 for 1. And that's the best way to go about it. You will find that, if you try to trade a $50 card and you want a $150 card, obviously you have to right there on the spot and pay cash or sell for the difference. But odds are when you attend these trade nights, you're not going to be buying or trading cards like 70%. like you will with the local LGS or with trade show vendors, right? Because you're dealing with collectors, you're dealing with people that are willing to help collect your whatever it is that you're collecting, complete your master set or whatnot. It's actually fun to do. And if you haven't been to a trade night, I would highly recommend looking into your local card shops and see who's hosting them and what dates and how to sign up and all that, because it is fun to do. And you meet a lot of people networking that you can later down the road do it again, on your own time. It doesn't have to be during a trade night. That's the biggest thing with this option. It is a great strategy for getting the cards that you need for your collection and completing your master sets. There is a con with trade nights, and the biggest one is the limited quantities, limited supply, because again, you're dealing with a small area, a small local card shop may not have the biggest area for tables and people to be in the shop, so you may not find the card that you're looking for, as opposed to if you go to a local LGS or a collector-con, for example. You're probably going to find more than one copy of the cards that you're looking for at those shows. So that is the only con for trade nights, is that if you're looking for one or two specific cards from a specific era or set, the odds of you finding it may be more limited. If you have more of an open mind and you just want to, for example, you're a Gengar collector and you just want to go after all the Gengars, odds are you're going to find people with Gengars that you'll be able to trade in or master set, the newest set available. That's also a viable option as well. Now, my number one way that I used to do this myself, I don't anymore because I don't have the time, to be honest. I run Types of Collectibles, the business, and it's really hard for me to get around and do this now. But in my opinion, the best way to find your singles that you want to collect, that you want to complete for your master sets, is doing a hybrid of looking online and meeting people, collectors, right? Buying collections, desirable cards that you want, plus whatever else they have, right? Like, bear with me. What this strategy entails is you go on your Facebook market, you join the groups, your Pokemon, your local, wherever you're at, your local city, more than likely if you're in a big city, will have groups, Facebook groups with Pokemon in it. Join those groups, join the chats, starting conversations as to what you have, what you're after, what you're willing to trade, who has what you want, and stuff like that. Odds are you're going to be able to find people that have the cards that you want. And even better, if you have somebody that's selling, let's say you're looking at the, Charizard from Brilliant Stars, somebody has it, but they're selling the collection as a whole. There's a lot of people like that sell collections, right? In the, several hundreds of dollars, and that chase card that you want, the Charizard, is at the top, and they're using it as a hook for them to sell their collections. People that do that, those are the best, because odds are when you buy a collection from somebody, you can actually ask for a discount because you're buying the entire collection, and people that need the money because an emergency came up or anything like that are willing to go down to like 80-75% from market for the entire collection. And now you were able to pick up the card that you're looking for, the Chase Charizard, plus all the other SIRs and IRs. Hopefully they're all like, valuable and sought after cards you can pick up. But because you picked them up at a cheaper price, you can then turn around with all those cards that you really don't want, that you just bought them as a collection to get your Chase that you were looking for. You can turn around and then trade those cards for value at a local card shop. And now you have credit to buy whatever else you want. That, in my opinion, is the best approach to doing it. There are cons of this approach, and that is that you need the capital, of course, right? If you're going to buy collections from the community, you need to have the capital. Some people have thousands of dollars in collections that they're willing to move, and they will prioritize the people that are willing to buy it all, as opposed to the people that would only handpick 5 cards. So if you have the capital, right, and you have the time, because with this option, you need both, right? It is the most profitable and the better way to go about collecting your master sets and all that. It is to buying collections at a below market, taking out the cards that you want, and then taking the rest that you don't want to your local card shop, doing some trade for things that you actually want to complete a master set or to collect, right? So this is a hybrid, and in my opinion, is the best approach. I used to do this all the time. Now, here is a golden ticket or a golden nugget that I'm going to give you with this strategy. There's been countless times where I've bought collections, $500, $400, not that large of collections. And I'll meet these people, right? And they'll come with their binder and they'll show me the cards that they're, have in their collection. And you'll be surprised at the amount of times that people think that because a card is heavy on one side than the other, it automatically does not qualify for a PSA 10, right? This is dabbling a little bit into grading. But I've bought collections where people don't know this, and they'll sell me, and I'll go home and I'll inspect the cards, and I was like, this is a PSA 10 contender, right? People don't know that you can be 5% off. You can go 55-45 in the front for PSA, and you can still get a 10. The back, you can go 60-40. You can be off 60-40% on the back alignment, and you can still get a PSA 10. That combined with the fact that a lot of people don't really care for PSA 10s or grading as a whole. They just really don't care. They think it's a scam. So they just collect what they love. They master set, they have raw cards, and that's as far as they go. So you will be able to find, you could find a lot of collections from people that are selling that are PSA 10able. And I've had that. Actually, I have a Leafeon V-Star, this Leafeon right here that has been with me for a while from Crown Zenith that I picked up from a collection. $350 collection is one of the cards in it, and it came at PSA 10. This is I don't know how much this card is now, but it's been with me for a while, and I have several other PSA 10s that I've rated from collections from the community that I have picked up. So, like I said, it requires the capital and it requires the time. If you have the time and the capital, then by all means, this is the best way to approach it. And I hope this was helpful to somebody. If you have any pointers whatsoever, leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this approach on my top 4. Maybe you have a different way. Maybe you have another way of dabbling into singles and mastering your sets that is better than what I put out here for you guys. If you like this content and you find this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, leave a like in the video. It helps the channel growth, and the algorithm will push this video up for more people to watch, and it helps the channel. So again, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate all your support. And if you are looking for sealed product, ETBs, bundles, slabs, PSA 10s, packs, single packs, Japanese, we have it all available for you at topshelfcollectibles.com. Check us out. And as always, stay positive, keep your head up, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.